good evening and welcome to Tottenham Tantrum Gold, the home of classic games, classic broadcasts and classic everything else. Firstly, this stream tonight's been dedicated to my stepfather, Ken, who passed away in 5 years ago, and also been dedicated to Bob Spurs' father, who passed away just under a week ago. Bob, I hope you're all right, and if you need anything, we're here for you. But this stream is dedicated to your father and my stepfather. So please, everyone, show your love and respect for Bob. He's a decent man, a proper gentleman, and very supportive of all the channels. So, Bob, thank you very much indeed. Right. Also, I would also like to thank Simon at Doc Drive 1 for the use of this game tonight. His link will be into the chat as well. Thank you very much for letting us use your games on our channel. And everyone, please get over to his channel. He's got some brilliant games there, England games if you're an England fan, all through the years with Kevin Keegan and all them. And hopefully there might be an Ireland match. So, Simon, if you're watching, if you'd like to come on anytime to watch your favourite Spurs game, you're more than welcome. But once again, thank you very much indeed for the use of this game tonight and the games that we have used. And everyone, the link will be put into the chat. So everyone, please press on it and get over to his channel because he's brilliant. He really does brilliant. Right, that's out of the way. Let's get the comments up first, just who's in the house. We've got Wayne Bonner. It says, how's it going, fellas? What time are you on in the morning? And is it every morning? Well, I'll pass that over to my co-host, the man who rocks flat caps. He's going to make flat caps look sexy again. He's the one and only Cooper Flat Cap 99. Answer there for Wayne.
What do you mean going to? Rocking it already, mate. Wayne, we should be on every weekday morning. We're trying to do a sort of casual drop-in thing. We'll be with Ben Kaufman, who you'll know from Irish Hotspur as well. We're trying to get it themed around his little coffee shop in a sort of relaxed atmosphere, just chat about whatever's the subject of the day for an hour or so. So if you've got things to say, feel free to drop in as well. Perhaps we'll get you on as well.
Yeah, and the next one there, Phil. Just keep them coming up, Phil. Just keep them.
Right, who have we got?
You've got Wayne Bonner again. Great tribute. Thank you very much. It's something that we wanted to do. This goes out to Bob as well. And then the link for Doc Drive's channel is in the chat now as well. And Bob Spur has just tweeted us or just contacted us. You're very welcome, sir, and thank you very much. And we're all here for you. We're all here for you, Bob. And
just big up to everyone that's contributed, because I know that the Magic 3K was hit, and it's an honour to be part of it. So thank you to everyone on behalf of Bob, and I'm sure without any shadow of a doubt he'll be eternally grateful. But just everything we can do for you, Bob.
Yeah, we're a Spurs family here. We're not just individuals doing YouTube channels. We're a family. So Bob is one of our own, and Bob's a great inspiration to me and to many other people. So thank you again, Bob. And if there's anything we can do, we're all here for you. Ellie is also in the chat. She says, watch your lads. I'll be dropping in to have a chat about the mighty Spurs. Well, we're coming in tomorrow night, Ellie, to do your favourite all-time Spurs 11. So that should be a good watch. So we look forward to having you then. Right. Should we get on with the match?
Why not?
Yeah. Seems an important game.
First
appearance of Mr. Klinsmann.
This was the start of the 94-95 season. It was the year that we bought thing. Can you get the team up at the bottom there first, Phil? There it is. Now, any players there you don't like to watch, Coover?
Yep.
Wasn't a big fan of Colin Calderwood, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it
all really, that one.
Well, we won't even pretend that one was there. But No, for me, it was all about that front five, wasn't it? The famous five at the time, and those signings we made in the summer were just stellar. When it was one of those moments where my jaw dropped when I heard we'd signed Jurgen Klinsmann. I've said this on another stream. We're supposed to remember things like what happened. What were you doing when Lady Diana passed away? What were you doing when 9/11 happened? And I honestly can't remember what I was doing then. But when Klinsmann signed for us, I remember the sheet of paper I had in my hand and what was written on it. It's amazing. It was so unbelievable. It went back to it was on par with the Ozzy Ardiles and Ricky Villa signings, completely out of the blue, and oh my God, it got us fans going.
This was a decent Sheffield Wednesday side at the time too, wasn't it, Cooper? It wasn't. They weren't an easy pushover, were they?
No, they're established Premiership team, or First Division team back then. Always a Premiership. No, it is Premiership at this time, isn't it?
Premiership,
yeah. So they certainly knew what they were doing. They still had some quality players in their side. They've fallen away tragically a lot lately, but back then it was definitely a big team. I mean, Hillsborough for a start is it says it all when it gets used for FA Cup semi-finals back in the day.
Yeah, and still does actually. It would have been actually. Phil, what was your memories of this game? And big up Cody Mack. Sorry, Phil. Cody Mack.
For me, two words: Jurgen Klinsmann. It was. You cannot comprehend what a stellar signing that was. He was by far the world's best striker at that point, and we signed him for a sniff. We didn't even know we were looking at him or even being considered with him, and suddenly, out of the blue, to our great club, we signed the great Jurgen Klinsmann. And I guess there was a little bit then of, I wonder if he's really as good as they say. But obviously, when you watch this game, the answer to that question is yes, he was.
I think his goal. It's got off in this video for somewhere along the line, but we will get it up somehow. We also got Cody Mack in the stream. Big up Cody Mack. He says, Cooper, what a sterling job you did when David's computer took a dump yesterday. You're a natural public speaker. Will you do my eulogy?
Yeah. Of course. Oh, I thought a eulogy for Cody Mack. You surely just lie the full speared on top of the and a cap on above that, and it says it all. Everybody knows Cody Mack for that.
Big up Cody
of course
Mack.
I would.
Big up Cody Mack. Thank you for joining it. We've got Paul Brown in that says even host and panel, all literally in the door. Spurs talk, Jurgen nostalgia, takes present to dinner, I guess. Well, I hope you enjoy, Paul. We try to bring up games that people will enjoy. And we've got Carter Man Farming Solutions. I started supporting Spurs in 1986, and it's changed completely for a boy of 10. Yeah, it really has. It's changed. Kuba, what do you say to Carter Man Farming Solution?
All I'll say is he started following Spurs on a good year because we had the Glenn Hoddle at his peak. Well, Glenn Hoddle was always at his peak. He was born at his peak. But yeah, we had a lovely attacking side back in those days. It sort of carried through to the 91 cup final with Gascoigne taking over from the role of Hoddle and Waddle. And we had Lineker coming through. There were some really fun days back then. We've had hard times since then. So yeah, good memories, mate.
Thank you, Carter Man, for coming in, and thank you for everyone who's joined us today, who's joined in. Right, I've got Ellie as well. Thank you, Ellie. Very kind of you. I think she's just talking to Wayne. Right, and the game's off and running. What was your memories of this day, Phil? I mean, were you excited about this Spurs team, or were you nervous, or because Ozzy had nearly taken us down the year before? So what was your thoughts for the start of this season?
Again, with all that attacking talent, it was very exciting. It was a season that we were going to score plenty of goals, or we should have been scoring plenty of goals, and ultimately we did. And here we are, like in the first minute, and there's Klinsmann But look at them all getting into the box. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, all in there. It's just it was great, exciting times. Wasn't one for your defence coaches, not by any stretch, but football's about scoring goals, and this was certainly a season for that.
I mean, Cooper, he went. Ozzy was sacked in November of that year, and Jerry Francis came in for the rest of that season, where we reached actually the FA Cup semi-final, and we lost to Everton. Do you think he got the best out of these players, Francis, or do you think it was just Ozzy wasn't up to the job of managing this great set? I mean, the great Steve Perryman was his number 2. Was it just different times?
Personally, I think sort of Ozzy's approach to the game, you could look at it as being ahead of his time, because it's just mad all attack so often, and you kind of compare it to what Man City do, but of course they can spend so many hundreds of millions on their players all the time. But there's a sense of like defense doesn't really matter. Let's just get up the other end of the pitch. And it was wildly exciting to watch until it started coming off the rails a bit, and then you started getting a little bit worried when we were sinking down the table. But it would have been interesting to see if we'd managed to stay up and kept Ozzy, how it would have developed.
Sorry, can't help it.
Fair point there from Wayne.
Yeah, Hoddle
never lost his peak.
Yeah.
What do you say to that, Phil? I was actually going to get you to answer that question. How do you answer that to Wayne Bronner?
Well, I'm going to tell you the stories we talked about offline. I went to the game yesterday, and they did a Q&A with the great Graham Roberts. And one of the questions he got asked was, how good was Hoddle, and how good would he be today? And his response was just, if you looked at the pitches we were playing on then compared to now, he said Hoddle was always ahead of his time. The guy was a genius. He said, so if he was playing today, would he fit in? Yes, he would. Would he be up there with Ronaldo, Messi? He's like, yes, he would. He said he was one of the best players that you could ever wish to meet. And he said, and it was just, he's like, I was honoured to be to have played with him.
Yeah, Coover?
Well, regarding Hoddle,
yeah,
it was just genius. It's the only word you can use for him. We were looking at some of those potato fields they were playing on in some of the other games, and players are struggling just to walk around with the ball, let alone do anything clever with it. And there's Hoddle with instant control, pinging it 60 yards like it's nothing. He could just see things other players couldn't. There's been talk about it before when he became manager. It was the only reason his management failed is because players didn't understand the level that Hoddle was on. He was asking things for him that they thought was incredibly difficult, and it's just natural to him. He drooled over him. Every kid wanted to be him when they saw him play.
Yeah, he did. I mean, this game was brilliant for me. I mean, I loved this game. I remember watching it with my brother on Match of the Day, funnily enough. And when Klinsmann scored, we both dived onto the floor, Klinsmann style, like the celebrations. And we
Nicky Barmby. So I was going to say Nicky Barmby there, looking about 12 years old.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, or 13, one or the other. Hello, it goes quick, goes small, and then he walks on.
He must have loved it. Breaking into the team, and then all of a sudden there's Jurgen Klinsmann, Gica Popescu, Ilya Dumitrescu coming through the door. He must have been absolute Clade 9.
So we haven't talked about that, but Popescu didn't even make the squad this day. So whether it's what was the reason for that, Dermot? You did say earlier, but I can't remember.
I think it was something to do. I think it was something to do with work permit or something like that. But big up Catman Jess, who's in the chat. Big up Catman Jess. Big up. She says big. Oh, I don't know if it's a he or a C, so I do apologise. It's big up the Tottenham Tantrum Gold Army. Thank you. Ellie's amazement about Ian Walker's hair. I think that's the only thing amazing about him. Apart, he wasn't a great goalkeeper, was he, guys? To be fair,
he had his moments, but too many of those moments were a bit embarrassing, weren't they?
with him, it was you felt it was always the sublime or the ridiculous. He's either pulling off a worldie or completely not.
Wayne Bonner has just brought me right back. He says, I remember listening to this game on Capital Gold. I mean, Capital Gold was a radio station in England where I used to live in England, and it had Jonathan Pearce as a commentator. I don't know if you guys remember that. I mean, he was mental on the radio anyway. He's mental doing commentary now, but he was even more mental than when he did it. So then matches would have been on then. Then you've got Ellie saying, "Hoddle, hoddle, hoddle, hoddle. Born is the king of White Hart Lane."
That's almost a Christmas theme song there, isn't it,
Yeah.
for the month of December?
And also, Wayne Bonner said, "Hoddle would embarrass Messi and Ronaldo all day long, absolutely all day long, all day long."
I suppose that there's an argument to be made that Hoddle was a better passer because he did it over such long range with some of them. That's not really sort of Ronaldo and Messi's game. So would have been interesting to compare them directly, wouldn't it?
And Bob Spur TV says, Wayne, it was just Radio 5 back then, wasn't it? But I think it was, Bob. I think it just was. I can't really remember, to be honest with you. 94, 95 probably was.
The other question that Graham Roberts answered yesterday, someone put him on the spot and they went, who would be your all-time Spurs 11? And I'm struggling to remember everyone, but goalkeeper, Pat Jennings, right back, Steve Perryman, centre-backs were Mike England and Dave Mackay. And he's like, I'm going to do a 4-3-3, but it was his midfield three. They went, who would be your midfield? He went, Ardiles, Gascoigne, Hoddle, all day long. Can you imagine those three playing for you? Then up front, obviously, Sir Jimmy, Kane. I can't remember who. I don't think he didn't give an answer for left back because he was like, I still need a little bit more time to think about it. And then we didn't get to it. But again, we talk about it here on Tottenham Tantrum of those players. It's like, the majority of those would be in anyone's side now, not just your Tottenham 11 now. They'd be in most of the world side 11. And it's like...
he would. I'd love the kit, by the way. Didn't you guys? The kit was cool. That purple kit was lovely. Yeah.
It was a bit of a change to what we were used to, wasn't it? I thought it fitted in well with the whole sort of new team image for this season.
Okay,
and
go on then, Dermot. I'm going to give that one to you, Cody Mack. How mad were you when Klinsmann left after 1 year?
I cried. I literally did. I cried. I was so upset when he left. Oh, I just couldn't believe it. But that was down to Alan Sugar, wasn't it? I think him and Alan Sugar had a row. Or something along them lines. You know the story, Goover.
The thing is, he'd never been, if you'd looked at his track record, he'd never been anywhere more than a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because he'd done Inter, Monaco, Bayern, but he hadn't done lots of... Sorry, it's just we're on the attack again. It's like...
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there's your...
I do apologise if the stream's jumping a bit. We are working on that. We will get that sorted. For the next...
No, we won't.
No, we won't. I'm just trying
it's old footage. It's VHS tape that's been transferred over to
I'm trying to be professional, but so that it won't.
No, some things you can't help.
No,
there you go.
This channel was not...
Big one in from Paul Brown. So he's Ricky Villa, Ozzy, Mabba, Hoddle, Waddle, Lineker, Gascoigne, Ginola, Berbatov, Keane, Modric, to name but a few. Mind-boggling in a way that our trophy cabinet is so bare. Never the complete team all at one time.
Yeah, shocking, isn't it?
Wasn't that the time when we had Gaza was coming in, and was it when Lineker we would have had Waddle, Gaza, and Lineker on the same side?
It was possible. It was a very quick sort of transition between the Hoddle and Waddle years to the Gaza and Lineker years.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so close. They could have theoretically been all on the same side, which would have been interesting.
It would have been. Wayne Bonner said the stream is fine. I actually have this game saved on my phone. Thank you, Wayne. That's very kind of you. Cody Mack, it says you guys are brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Ellie says Klinsmann and Barnby had such a great understanding, but Nick Barnby got injured quite a lot. Yeah, he did.
He did.
Can I just apologise to Phil? When the comments are coming up, we're cutting you off, Phil, so we do apologise.
That's right.
I can see you in the little screen at the bottom of the screen here on my computer, but for the viewers, we do apologise. Phil does exist. He's there. Give everyone away. He does, but when the comments come up, we just like to cover him up. We only let him out for games. He spends the rest of the time down in Tottenham Tantrum Towers vault room. So we'll just let him out one day a week. Or 2 days a week. So
I think we can change the font size on that, I think, to make it a bit easier. Should we try something else?
Yeah. We have Spurs 72 here. It says, hey Darren at Cleveland, Phil. Hope you guys are fine. I had to come and see the part of this game. This is my era. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, I'm doing fine. I'm buzzing for something that's coming in after Christmas. How are you? Do you want to sponsor that, Cooper and Phil?
I was just going to answer Wayne. Wayne, we always do a full watch along from a big classic game on a Monday evening. Tuesday we tend to do sort of a debate on Tottenham Gold, and then on a Friday we look at an old game, but generally who we're up against this weekend. So, like last Friday, we had a little game against Norwich, just so you can see, years gone by.
Thanks, Phil. And then we've got Cody. That's why a comment of Field's face gets blood. Just kidding. Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it. Brilliant, Cody, mate. You're brilliant. Cody, mate, we've got to get you on one of these streams one Monday for your favourite game. We have to get you on. And Bob Spur as well. Bob Spur would be honoured to have you on, sir, to pick your favourite Tottenham game of the past. And Cody Mack as well. So we have a lot of things happening in the future. After Christmas, there's one or two things I can't say yet, but I'm buzzing. The lads are buzzing. So if it works out, then it should be great.
That little passage of play there summed up the Aussie tactics. You see Ian Walker throw the ball out. 2 seconds later, it's being shot back at him.
But did you see Klinsmann defending then, chasing back?
Yeah. Big up Derek Hutchinson says, big up you guys. Wade Bonner says, cheers, Phil, I'm in. Ellie says, Cody, you're a funny dude. We all know he's funny. He's brilliant. How's the beard coming along, Cody? Let us know how the beard's coming along, because I think he's starting to grow it again. Wayne Bonner says, hope you're well, Bob Spar. And then Cody Mack says at the bottom, I love to sometimes, guys. Love watching those games. So, yeah. I don't know who we got on the weekend.
Brighton, aren't we? Brighton away this weekend.
I think we're going to have to find an 80s Brighton game, I think.
I was going to say there won't be too many in between, but
no.
there'll be a few there. Yeah. I can remember Gary Stevens scoring a winner in one game and then transferred to us later on, wouldn't they?
Yeah, that's right.
If everyone's enjoying this, please like and subscribe. The beard's coming back. Quick, guys! 25 years. I've got to catch Cleaver. Oh Lord!
It sort of gets to a point that starts growing very slowly. I might have to get Prince Charles to talk to it.
I was hoping Cody would have it for Christmas. He could have done Father Christmas, couldn't he?
Oh dear! There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, was that offside?
Offside.
Oh, well done,
Ralph.
Ian Walker was doing his brilliant goalkeeping there. Just stood still.
That's a good question. Good question from Bob there, asking Cody what would his game be.
I'd be interested to see what Cody says to that. Actually. Bob Spur, what would your game be? And who would be your all-time favourite player? But yeah, please like and subscribe, and we'll all be very grateful. We're all extremely grateful for how quickly this channel has grown in the last 3 weeks, and thank you to all who have subscribed and watched. We all appreciate it very, very much. So thank you very much for everyone. And Sheffield Wednesday on the attack again. I mean, good. Kerslake, he was quite underrated defender, wasn't he? I don't know what you guys think, but I quite liked him when he played for Tottenham.
I had the opposite view of him. I thought he was a load of rubbish. He had some attacking sort of quality to his game, but I just didn't think it was very good, to be honest.
Phil?
Sorry, say again.
Yeah, no, I haven't got Adele. I didn't say nothing about Adele. I said about Kerslake. What did you think of him? Was he a good defender or not?
No, nothing special. I didn't think he was. He was just, as typical for Tottenham. He was just an average defender. Was never going to set the world on fire.
I'd go a bit further than that. I'd say his name often crops up when you're talking about a worst ever Spurs 11.
Yeah. And thanks again to Doc Jive One for letting us use this. Thank you very much. Cody Mack said Bob Spur TV. Any of them would be great. That they've gone through quite a few of the big ones. Would love the 8-4 final. I tell you what, Cody Mack, if you want to come on, we'll watch that, because that game is worth watching again. Because that's actually one of my favourite games.
Might have to wait a while on that one. It seems like just the other week we did one, didn't we? Well, anyway, we'll find something.
Yeah. And Ellie says we sealed winning our 2 titles the 2 times we won the league playing Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, that's true. That's correct.
Well, let's hope they get promoted next season. This season, then ready for next.
I don't think they're doing quite well actually. They're in League One, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not in a great place.
And there's the player who should not be named.
We're talking about doing a show about him at one point, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, Cooper. This is your idea. This has nothing to do with me. This is all your idea.
It was just
nothing to do with this.
It was going to be the sort of it was going to be the tie-in with club ownership.
Oh, what a finish!
And that was Teddy Sheringham.
I loved his celebration.
And there's the great Justin Mayman as well.
He made it look so effortless as well, didn't he?
Yeah. I wonder if you're in there.
Bring that ball down well, didn't he?
Crowd. Oh Lord, what a great game! Bob Spur, the 91 semi-final or the 6-2 Southampton game. As for a play at Gaza all the way, yeah, well.
Bob's Gaza ahead of Hoddle. If you could only pick one.
Well, I know Bob Spur would pick Gaza. We all know he'd pick Gaza.
Yeah, I always found this one a difficult question because my theory on it was if your team wasn't very good, you'd want Gaza in it because he can do all of it for you. But if you had some quality players in there, you would want Hoddle picking them out from anywhere on the pitch instantly. Yeah, they're both going to improve your team massively, aren't they?
I was going to say, it's going in for a raffle that you know you can't lose, isn't it?
Yeah.
Gaza or Hoddle? Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Ellie's saying that I love it. I love when we beat Arsenal 3-2 at their ground, at their scrummage ground when Kabul headed the winner.
Yeah.
Love singing 2-0 up, and you're what's that?
Yeah.
Sorry?
And you fluffed it up.
Yeah, that day.
2-0 and you fluffed it up.
I was there actually that day. I was actually at that game. That was crazy. That game.
I never get tired of watching Wenger throwing his water bottle.
No.
Yeah, it's just.
Do you know they've done that game with the Rocky theme now? There's actually a clip of that game with the Rocky theme. It is so good. It really is brilliant. Whoever come up with that idea is brilliant. We have royalty in the chat. We have royalty. It's the Irish Hotspur. Mr. David Harris, thank you for joining us, sir.
Congratulations, Mr. 5K.
congratulations from all of us here on Tottenham Tantra Gold on you reaching 5,000 subscribers. You and Jack richly deserve it.
And
Absolutely
congratulations for recovering from your sister's birthday party as well.
Yeah. We'll make up for that again when we go over for the Wolves game. We'll paint Tottenham green, white, and gold. No problems.
This is the one I wanted to see. Spurs 72, a show about Judas. I got to be there to see what content you have for that.
Well, this is nothing to do with me and Phil. This is all Coover. So Coover, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. The idea was it's going to tie in with it's going to tie in with our previous shows we've had about Spurs ownership and were they good enough, and then we were ranking them. And it just made me think when Judas left, is there actually some value to what he said at the time about we lacked ambition? And that was all it was. It's not like suddenly, I like Judas. It's just that if he'd gone to the likes of Man United instead, we wouldn't have been treating him the way we treat him now, would we?
And the other thing as well is he'd asked for something like an astronomical salary, which he'd asked for something like 50k a week more than we were offering, which at those times would be like it would be millions in today's market. He wanted 130 back in whatever year it was he went, which was far and away making him the highest paid player. But I think the point that he said is he wants an escape clause so that if things don't change in 12 months, he can walk away for free. And Spurs went no, and then suddenly out of nowhere, we all know the ending to that part of the story.
Well, I'm just going to sit back and let people just talk to Coover on that show. I'm just going to introduce it, sit back, do nothing, and just watch it all fall apart. But it's going to be brilliant. That will come on.
The discussion isn't really about him, though, is it? It's about did we do, as he said, lack the ambition at the time? But we've been held to ransom, but. Still, we'll keep thinking there's part of what he said is rings truth because we weren't up there with the big boys at the time.
No, but I'm just going to love people's reaction to that show. That's going to be
brilliant. Well, it's going to end in pure hatred. So it's going to be great.
Can I just put it out there? I do not like Sol Campbell. Okay, for what he did to us. I'm putting it out there now.
You said the name.
I wonder if we should.
I have. Sorry.
I wonder if we should try and find the most hated, not the most hated, the supporter of ours from the channel that hates Judas the most, and put them up against Mr. Daigle and say who was worse, Levy or Judas. Maybe there's a debate show.
You would have a few round. Yeah, you would have a queue round the block for that. Just a few more in the chats here. Paul Brown says Gaza gets the emotional vote Hoddle for skills. Spurs 72 said no, LOL, screw him. That must be about the Judas thing. Bob Spur TV says I love to be fair and go for who I saw more live, guys. Hoddle won best player in my best ever show. However, I saw Gaza play live loads more. The Irish Hotspur, thank you, David. Very kind of you. Smash a like, everyone. We've got 5 likes, so thank you very much for everyone who's liked it so far. Thank you so much indeed. And at Ellie's put Royal 5K man David is in the house. Congrats, man. You deserve everything coming your way, which will be an even more and more followers. Yeah, and big up Jack as well. Jack and David are the most formidable Irish duo on YouTube. So big up to the pair of them. Wade Bonner put Levy and Judas are equal. Yes, I would agree. And Spurs 72, we lack ambition, so I'm going to the arse WTF.
That's okay. It at the end of the day. That's the bad taste, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the unforgivable part.
Yeah.
The only real positive I see from it all is it gave us certain Ledley King a bit of time to get into the team and develop.
Did he lift the trophy for us, Judas? Was it him who led the team lift the 1999 League Cup?
Judas would have been. Hang on.
I think it was Judas.
Well, I'm not going to allow him any such credit. We'll say.
No, I was just asking who was captain that day. That was all. Because I hope it was Leslie King, because I know he captained the side in 2008, but I didn't know if he was captain in 99.
I'm trying to think when he left.
I think he left for 2000, 2001. Oh, Jesus. Shocking defending Tottenham. Honestly.
So he probably was captain.
He only stayed with us for one season, didn't he, Dimitrescu? Didn't he go to West Ham after this?
Yeah, he had a stellar start, and everybody was raving about his little one trick that he had. But then everybody found out it was only one trick.
Yeah.
So the defenders had studied and knew which way he was going to go, and he started getting found out far too often.
Oh, Lord Jesus. I mean, this defending shocking, isn't it? Oh, come on. This shows how bad we were.
Well, players are back at this point, which was unusual.
Yeah. I mean, this was Ozzy's way. I mean, Ozzy's time was eventful at the club. Again, he had the great Steve Perriman as his number 2. And I think Pat Jennings was the goalkeeping coach with Ozzy as well. I don't think it was Ray Clements. I actually think it was Pat Jennings.
Could well be. So.
Wade Bonner said he left at the end of the 2001 season.
Yeah, that sounds right.
It wasn't King. My own brains let me down at the moment, said Spurs 72. I think it was Judas as well. Thanks, Wayne Bonner. Demis Krishki was sent. I apologise for how I'm pronouncing his name, so I do apologise. Was sent on loan 95-96 and was sold the following season. Yeah, that actually would make sense. Popescu went to Barcelona, didn't he, after us? And Paul Brown put Judas Levy for 21 years of discarding Tottenham Hotspur Football Club history. Well, yeah, me and Kuba had a bit of a discussion about that one morning last week, didn't we, with the great Dave Harris that was with us, talking about the club should do more for the history. We are going to start a petition, and we're going to try to get a few of the Spurs YouTubers together. We're going to do a petition to get a statue for the great Bill Nick and the great Jimmy Greaves outside the stadium. So that's something that we'll be looking to get sorted, because I think there should be, and it's a disgrace there isn't. But I'm not going to get on a rant about it. This is about Klinsmann, and he hasn't dived once yet, bless him. So that's a good thing. I think all that diving malarkey was blown out of all proportion. What do you guys think?
No, I think it was a fair reputation, to be honest. Obviously, as soon as he came to us, of course, all the other fans would be saying that's all he ever does, and we sort of change our tune a bit then, don't we? But I mean, when it comes up, the goal celebration is just such an iconic moment for us.
I mean, there's a great player, Phil Justin Edinburgh. I mean, he was a fantastic defender for us, wasn't he? Phil?
Sorry, say again. Just in a minute. I bumped into him once. When he was in Newport, he came in for petrol in a shop where I was. Again, the nicest guy you could wish to meet. He was great. And do you know what? He had a good future ahead of him as a manager. He made a big difference at Leyton Orient and Norwich, and it was just heartfelt, absolutely heartfelt when he passed.
Wayne Bonner said Dimitrescu went to some Spanish team. Popescu lasted one season and then went to Barcelona in the summer of '95. Wayne Bonner also said Shannon and Klinsmann were unbelievable together as a front two. Yeah, they were.
Klinsmann always made a point of saying Sheringham was his favourite partner that he's played with. Teddy Sheringham, the intelligent. There we go.
That was Ozzy's team. Darren Anthony scored. That was just how Ozzy played.
That's another one. That link up that Darren Anderton had with Sheringham was just brilliant. There's so many partnerships you see through the years that you think, if only we could have had that at the same time as this other one. There's been some fantastic players on view in this match.
He was injured a lot, Anthony, wasn't he? I mean, that plagued his career a lot of knee injuries, didn't he?
He certainly got this nickname stick note, that's for sure. But he clocked up a lot of games for us, nonetheless.
I was shocked when we started doing this, and I looked at your most played players. I was absolutely dumbstruck how many got, because he must have missed at least half his career at Tottenham, so he could have been pushing 600 on, couldn't he? And just for the record, I've just looked it up. The person that picked up the cup on in '99 is in defence in this game. I leave it as that, and
we're just going to call him number 23. That's all we're going to describe.
Well, that's an insult then to Christian Eriksen, isn't
exactly. Yeah.
I can't say anything, can I?
We're just calling the editing error.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
We've got to be careful what we say.
Yeah. That's the other idea for a show, isn't it? We'll just put up his picture and then just all talk shit about him for an hour.
An hour?
Oh, Lord.
That won't be long enough.
But that's the morning session.
I'm not going to. Kuva, I mean, what's your impressions of the game so far? Just, I don't know how long we're into it, but what's your impressions so far of the first half?
It's really open, isn't it? Loads of space for players to get onto the ball. Having said that, there we go again, just punching up in the air. But it's just wide open for both sides. That was what's so memorable about this game. It was a crazy match. I mean, the neutrals loved it. You see the best and the worst of Spurs in one game. I remember after the game, the commentators in the BBC studio, they're joking and laughing about what a season ahead if you're a Spurs fan. It's going to be crazy, and it was.
Yeah, I've just got a phone call to take, so if you could just carry on for a few minutes. Sorry.
What do you think to that comment from Spurs 72 then? Imagine if Conte had this team.
There's enough hard workers in this team to do something.
I tell you what, if he'd picked them up that summer and had a full summer, could they have won the league within a couple of seasons?
Yeah, I think so. The talent's there, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, he would he'd probably just, it's like your front two, so Klinsmann and Sheringham, they're not going anywhere, are they? Anderton would definitely be in there. Your back 4 or 5, he might have a little bit of work to do there, but at that point, this person here was one of the better players around. But there wasn't a massive signings that were needed to turn it from all nearlies to actuals, wasn't it?
Just quickly, just want to say big up to Doc
Jive One
for this. We appreciate your support and your kindness to let us show these games. So please do the link is in the chat.
Yeah, it's right at the top. So, but again, thank you, Simon. And
do you think we should bring a guest on, lads? Should we put the link on for one guest to come on? If anyone wants to pop in,
can do. It's a good game to talk about, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to put that into the chat there, Phil? Put the link in for the chat. So if anyone wants to pop on, they can. There is Anderton again. I mean, how good was Darren Anderton, you guys? How good was he? I mean, was he a good player, a great player, or just a very good? Was he just good for his period? Because he played at Portsmouth, didn't he?
He did. We signed him for, I think it was a fee of about 1.7 million, something like that, which is a sizable amount for back in the day. But yeah, I think he was a very underrated player. When you see the link-up play, like I said again with Sheringham, there was something special there. There was a real spark, and Anderton got some absolute bangers for us as well.
Leeds FA Cup.
Yeah, that's the one I was about to say. Yeah, I mean, I mean, they weren't just like a sort of one in a million shot. He did several like it, but some occasionally he got saved. But it was just it was quality. Everything he did, he had a great first touch, superb delivery of the ball. I mean, it was a damn good player. If it wasn't for all the injuries, I think both England and Spurs would have benefited a lot more.
Yeah, again, if I put it into context, at the '98 World Cup, he was picked ahead of David Beckham. That's how highly Glenn Hoddle rated him. But for
whoever
me,
whoever just kicked Judas, well done to that Spurs player. I don't know who kicked him, but fair play to you. Sorry, Phil, carry on.
But yeah, no, he for me, he was an absolutely great person, great footballer.
Phil, what was your thoughts on Ian Walker?
I said it earlier. I did like him, but he felt what I would call a pretty boy of football. A bit like your Delhi from now. It's like I think he liked the stuff that went with it more than the football, and he just there was always a couple of mistakes in him, but he would also pull off some blinders.
Yeah,
it was a hard one, but he was around for a long time at the club, wasn't he?
He was. Wayne, I put this one to you, Coover. Wayne Bonner puts at Paul Brown. Imagine if we had that in this current team. Damn, that would be too good with Conte in charge. I mean, if Conte was in charge of this side? Do you think we would win the league with this side? But added a few more players.
Well, weren't we just talking about this a minute ago? He could have done wonders with this. I mean, first ones I would have looked at was probably a fullback and a keeper because they were weak links, certainly. As Phil was saying with Walker, he thought it was the pretty boy type. It made me think of when Liverpool had that sort of Spice Boy era. Excuse me. When players looked good on paper, but when it got on the pitch, you had the feeling they were liking the nightlife too much.
Sorry, every time I see him, I am going to boo him. Sorry. It's just we've had too many years of booing him when he played for the other side. Anderson was a quality player. It's just injuries. Yeah, that's true. And Walker was 50-50, says Ellie. Guys, out of this team, if you can put the team up down the bottom there, Phil, who would you pick off as your best players from this squad? At that team, who would you say were the best players?
Well,
actually, let me change the question. Who would you put into today's squad from that team?
I think for me, there's possibly 4, but one I'm going to discount. Anderton, Sheringham, Klinsmann absolutely would make it, and probably the other one. But he wouldn't get in now because of what he did. But for quality of play, unfortunately, he was good, and I'd probably have him for today.
Yeah. We've got Paxton Road TV watching, and he's got a message for you, Pooh. It says, "Big up." It says, "Hi, Tottenham Tantrum. Mike here from Paxton Road. Loved the Spurs during the 90s. Big up, Coover 99." Thank you very much indeed, Mike. And everyone get over to Paxton Road TV. It's a great YouTube channel. And absolutely brilliant to do some great stuff. So everyone, please get over there.
Penalty! That's got to be a penalty.
Like and subscribe to Paxton Road TV. Right. Was it a penalty, Phil? Hoover?
Definitely. Refs taking bribes.
Yeah. VAR. We're waiting for VAR. No, there wasn't VAR there.
Well, we've done this on a previous one, haven't we? Yeah. VAR back in those days is shouting at the lino that he's blind.
Cool.
That's true.
Big shout out there from Wayne. Look at that. Mabbott, Sheringham, Klinsmann, Anderson, Barmby, and Popescu he'd have in today's team.
Yeah. He scored the winning goal against Arsenal in New Year's Day of this season. I don't know if it was this season. He scored
look at the subs bench as well.
Yeah.
Substitutes bench. I think a Mickey Hazard would fit in very nicely at the moment.
And Paxton Row TV, thank you very much. That's extremely kind of you to say. He just says everyone like and subscribe to this channel is going to be massive. Thank you so much indeed. Very, very kind of you to say. Thank you. And then he then says the mind boggles. Klinsmann will get into all Prem teams today. So would Sheringham, because these two were sheer class. Well, yeah, they were. They were great together.
I think Ellie's spot on there. I can't imagine. I mean, I'm trying to think through the Premier. You know, would Klinsmann fit in at Man City? Yep.
Yeah.
And Sheringham.
Yeah.
Well, Sheringham went to Man United, and he Alex Ferguson did rate him. You know, he went there, he won his trophies, and then he came back to Tottenham. So, you know,
which is such an intelligent footballer. Well, both of them, in fact. It just showed with everything. It was just sheer quality in everything they did.
He was like the slowest player around, but his mind was 5 yards ahead of his feet, so he always knew what was going to happen.
Didn't Teddy? Was that what Venables said about him? Somebody said that about his mind being ahead of his, thing. Lads, the substitutes. I mean, are we surprised Mabbutt didn't play that day? And Mickey Hazard also. Were you surprised they were left on the bench, Hoover?
I think at that point, Mabbutt would have been recovering from injury before that, wouldn't he? I'm trying to think when he had his eye socket shattered. No, that would have been later than this. Thinking about it, because it was against Wimbledon, wasn't it? And they came up in the 85-86 season, or was it 86-87? I mean,
I guess. Sorry, just on that, I just looked up how old he was. So he was born in 61. So he would have been 33 then, and you know it's a tough age for a central defender, isn't it?
Mabbutt broke his leg as well, didn't he?
He
Yeah,
did.
I wonder if that's before this.
He broke his leg in the 95-96 season or 96-97 season.
All right, so that's after this as well. That's surprising. Yeah, I would have had him in my team at this point. Then definitely.
I think looking at who else is in that defence. You know, your Calderwood, Nethercott, Gary Mabbutt. For me, it's a no-brainer. All day long, I'd have him.
Nethercott.
What about
Gary Mabbutt on the bench?
And I'd also have Gary Mabbutt in today's squad as well.
Yeah. What about Mickey Hansen? Would you have had him in the starting lineup?
Not again at this age. I think he was slightly too old, but again, he'd be another one that would be very close to me bringing as one of those players, because the guy was just talented, absolutely talented. I was gutted I didn't get to speak to him yesterday, but his talent was just, it was great, because you always felt that he was the inferior Glenn Hoddle, but actually he wasn't. He wasn't Glenn Hoddle, but he wasn't as far behind as as you think.
And Wayne Bonner is actually. It was the 93-94 season that Mabbutt suffered that horrific injury against Wimbledon. So you were right, Cleaver. Again, and then Mabbutt broke his leg in the first game versus Blackburn, 96-97. Mabbutt is God.
Yeah.
I mean, and Catman Jess says, still here, guys, just watching and listening. You're very welcome, Catman Jess. Glad to have you in the leader of our Tottenham Tantrum Army Gold. She's the leader. Gary Mabbutt for me. I mean, what inspiration to people though. I mean, he was diabetic. Phil, to you, I'm just taking it off so we can see your face, Phil, and everyone can see you in your full glory of 1080p HD. What inspiration was Gary Mabbutt, do you think, to like diabetic sufferers and people like that? He proved that you could be a professional footballer and have a full career with diabetes.
Yeah, the guy was a living legend. You know, he played an awful lot of times. He captained the team, but he didn't let stuff get in the way. He obviously had a disability, as you know, which is kind of what it's classed as, unfortunately. but he wasn't going to be beaten by by that. He had to do his insulin, and I can speak for one and say it's hard going when you're doing that, but you've got to be big enough and brave enough to not let it overcome you. It's like, he didn't let diabetes rule him. He ruled diabetes, and played a lot of times for our club, lifted an FA Cup, and was just a player that would be so well respected, not just for his football, but for his humanitarian side as well. The guy was a leader. So brilliant.
Yeah, I think he was the only reasonable candidate to take over captaincy from Steve Perryman, because they both had the lion-hearted approach to the game. They were both respected by other players. They both do anything for the team, slot into any role needed, no questions asked, and give everything for the team 100% of the time, no matter what. And then ambassadors off the pitch, total gentlemen.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I mean, it goes on what you were saying. What do you say to Wayne Bonner, what he's written here?
Apparently, Mabbott had to inject himself with insulin 3 times a day on game day. The man was a legend, a leader, and an inspiration. Retired at 38 at the end of the 97-98 season. Yeah, totally agree. Mabbott also had to have a can of Lucasade at half, or was it a bottle of Lucasade at half time as well, just to keep the blood sugar levels steady. But
as soon as you run around, or you exhale energy, then it drops your sugar levels. So, there we are, half time. So
it's half time. It's Tottenham 2, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Goal scorers for Tottenham: Teddy Sheringham and Darren Anderton. Just a quick thing for you, there's Teddy. Phil, Walker over Galini, yes or no?
It's like choosing between your two best friends to steal your wife, isn't it? It's like
Walker. Would you put Walker in for Galini now? Yes or no?
No. I think I'd still go with Galini.
Okay, Coover.
I'd probably pick Walker. It's purely because he's an Englishman, and it will help with the sort of quota of homegrown. But otherwise, I'd happily do with that both, to be honest.
We have Brian Daigle in. Good afternoon, Brian. Thank you for tuning in. Absolute legend. Daniel Levy's arch enemy. He's the James Bond of the Spurs world. I'd love to know who his Miss Moneypenny would be. Actually, probably be his wife. And I wonder, are you queue for him then, Cuba? Are you supplying him the gadgets to get Levy out of the club, or is it you, Phil?
I think my gadget is currently in Toronto, making his way over here in February.
Yeah, there's a plane loaded with dynamite ready to come over at any time.
Right, I'm going to get it out now. Okay, he was going to put it in the chat later, so I'm going to get this out now once he's once I've had this. Ellie says, Google the truth teller. Wayne Bonner says, hey there, Brian Daigle. Hope you're well and been catching up on sleep. And Catman just says, hello, Brian. Right, Mr. Phil it is. Are you ready? This is your moment. This is the time you've been waiting for. Please ask everyone on YouTube what you've been asking us in private. It's over to you.
Well, I'm making a big endeavour to try and get some famous Tottenham fans to come and join our stream. And my number one person is the lovely Adele. And I'm basically asking, does anybody have Adele's phone number or any way that I can get in contact with her? Because I have tweeted her once a day for the last 15 days. And as yet, I haven't given up, but I am still going. But I have not yet heard back from the lovely Adele. So if anyone can help me or point me in the right direction, trust me, I would be eternally grateful.
While we've got an interview break here, every meeting we have is Adele-based with him down there at the bottom. It's like he's completely besotted with her. So would you please find us? Just put him out of his poor misery, bless him. And the fella below me here that doesn't help either, because he's just as bad as the fella down below here.
Don't know what you're talking about.
I tell
What's
you,
Adele? How can you not love Adele?
I know. Oh, anyway, let's get back to the game, shall we, lads? Right. Mike Cousin says that's why Adele is sorry. That's why Mads is my hero. I found out I was type 1 diabetic in February 91. In May, he lifted the FA Cup. A couple of years ago, I met him. What a gentleman. And Catman just said, I wish I could, Phil. And Spurs 72 said, Money Penny would be Delia Smith.
Just big up, Mark. Respect to you, man. I know makes life very, very difficult, but you've got to do it. And if you're getting through it and you've done 30 years, then absolute total respect to you.
Yeah, fair play to you.
Just ask yourself, have you got a Libra, as in one of the Libra devices? Because if you haven't, you really want to get one. They're great.
And guys, your response to Spurs 72, Money Penny would be Delia Smith.
No. I don't know. Bless her. You know what? I love the fact she's still got passion for her team and everything.
Yeah. I love it when she came.
Where are you? Yeah. Where are you?
I wonder how many bottles of champagne did she actually get down her neck that game. Oh Lord God! There was a few tackles flying in there. David Hurst was a good striker.
He was. I think he still holds the record for having the fastest or the hardest ever shot recorded.
Lazy 801 says, "Keep working on it, Phil. Chew Geordie eventually got Shearer. You can get Adele, I believe us. See, now you're getting." And Brian says to Mike Cousins, "Gary Mabbutt is the most inspirational Spurs player of my lifetime." Absolutely, Brian, spot on. And Catman Jess says, Luca Mora and the social media guy wrote to me yesterday morning after I wrote to him. Catman Jess, you must be buzzing. I've had something like that in the last few days, and the lads can tell me before we come on here. It was Scuba had to calm me down. I was up and down like dancing kangaroos.
Yeah. And might have to calm you down now as well, mate.
Yeah. And Wayne Bonner wants to know, Catman Jazz, what did he or they say?
Big message in there from Brian again. Gary Mabbutt is the most inspirational Spurs player of my lifetime.
There's Ozzy. There's little Ozzy.
Do you know what? You'd be hard pushed to find a more inspirational player. Can you think of anyone, Kuba, than Gary Mabbutt in your lifetime?
Not really. No,
Would you say Dave Mackay for coming back with 2 broken legs?
Yeah, but no, even then, because Mabbutt's having to fight against something really quite severe every single day of his life. People underestimate the effect of diabetes. It's really massively life changing. It's not a small thing that where people should just be brushing it under the carpet. It's a big deal. You basically you know what's likely to kill you. It's the one thing that's going to get you in the end, because it's just such a drastic effect it has on the body. So to play it at an elite level as a sportsman, that is just incredible. And for so long as well.
Just on that, Cuba, obviously I'm just going to add to it because obviously I can speak from first hand.
Just let me take that off there so we can actually see you.
You're saying there is you know what can kill you. The flip side of it is it's also your medicine. I'll never forget recently I went into hospital and I had a really bad, I went really, really low, and I can remember speaking to my dad and he's like, you need to get some medicine. My medicine was food. I had to eat. And you're like, the food can kill you, but the food you need to survive. And it's just, it's a bizarre experience because you're right, it's there with you 3 times a day when you eat, but it never goes away. It's just incredible. And for him to do it at such a top level, because he was a top baller. For me, absolutely inspiration all day long.
Yeah, that's one thing.
Also, I was going to also add, just seeing Gary Mabbott trot out onto the pitch, his barrel chest ahead of him. He always walked tall. He looked like a leader every time he came out. You always wanted him at the back in the back of the team for you. He'd do anything for anybody. Absolute top bloke. Ambassador for this club, ambassador for FIFA, ambassador for the FA. Goes all around the world, just spreading the goodwill of whoever wants him on board, because he's just so well loved. He has so much respect from fans from other teams as well, because they knew about the diabetes thing and all he does for the raising awareness for it as well. What a top bloke in every way.
And Brian says here, Mabbott also came back from the fractured eye socket, courtesy of John Fashioner. Yeah, that was a pretty serious injury. It really was. He done well. Catman just wrote to him about his goal and his performance, and he said, "Thank you for your supporting him and the club." Ellie says Steve Perryman was an inspirational. Right, I want to go on to a bit of a Steve Perryman talk now. Once I get through these, and Mabbott also broke his leg on the opening day of the season. If the season to season later from this game was against Mabbott also broke his leg on the opening day. If the season to season later from this game against Blackburn, it was only 18 minutes into the game he broke his leg. Right, Steve Perryman, Aussie number 2. Now, this goes back to managers that play for the club coming back as managers. Do you think it takes away from their legendary what they've done as a player to come back as a manager and it doesn't work?
No.
I mean,
not
look at that.
In the slightest.
I mean, defending, just saying, that defending was scandalous. You two like to talk us through that defending? I mean, you can be the Alan Hansen film, you can be the big burly centre half Razor Roddick Hoover. So
if they're gonna, it's easier if they show a replay now, isn't it?
I'm gonna go. That was absolutely woeful. Shocking. And no wonder we ended up where we were.
Here we go.
Here we go.
Cooper, talk us through this band defending.
Well, it's just not anticipating, is it? Who's that there?
Where's the two central defenders?
The left back that was tucked in as well. Who was playing left back again? I've forgotten.
Edinburgh.
I just keep asking for VAR. He was offside. But Jesus, VAR wasn't around, was it?
It was just a total lack of anticipation, though, wasn't it, by the whole defence? They were throwing themselves out before the ball came back in. Perhaps they were playing for an offside, but they didn't do it very well.
Truth Sets Free says, class in session. Sorry, I'm late. Absolutely love these. Always watch them back. Thanks. Thank you very much, Truth Sets Free. What was saying? Class in session. What's the next one there? Watched the 80-81 Spurs Norwich game done by Coover and Phil. Great, awesome view. Yes, I want to thank Coover and Phil for that. They did an absolute legendary job. Absolute brilliant. So big up to you guys. Absolutely fantastic. Wayne Bonner said, who from the past would you choose to start in centre backs? We'll come back to that because that's a very good question. So we will get back to that, Wayne. Just read the rest of them. Ledley also inspirational, playing through the pain barrier with his dodgy knee. Old Ledley. He's only got one knee. He's better than John Terry. Old Ledley. Yes, that's how I remember that phrase. So Catman says the True Sets V says big up legend. My cousin said it's still something to do with Exeter FC. I think he is, Mark. I'm not 100% sure. And Spurs 72, thank you. It's Judy's fault on that goal. I agree with that. It was all his fault.
He was there. He missed it. Useless.
Yeah.
Bin him off.
Could you go back to Wayne Bonner's question there? But thank you for everyone who's watching at the moment. Please like and subscribe. You can donate to the channel. There is a donating bit on the main YouTube channel. You don't have to donate to watch the stream, but if you do donate, any money that's donated goes back into the stream to make it better, to make things better, give you a better experience, so we can get guests on or better videos or better matches for you. But thank you for everyone who's liked and subscribed. We've got 14 likes so far for this stream, so thank you so much for everyone who's liked, and we all appreciate it all very much. So, do you want to say anything to the people that are watching, Cooper?
No, just echoing what Dermot said. Thank you so much for joining us. I think this is our biggest sort of online viewing for a live show. Anyway,
Yeah, it is.
So it's good. I mean, if you pick the right matches, people will come.
Phil, anything you want to say quickly? I'll go back to you as well, Cooper.
No, again, just completely echoing what was said there. It's great to be doing a channel, but it's even more to be inspired by you guys tuning in, watching us, and being part of our journey with us. So thank you very much to everyone that's currently watching.
It definitely keeps us going, doesn't it? Because I remember one stream where we had literally nobody watching.
Yeah, I know.
Early days on all channels are like that.
Spurs 72. If you go onto the main YouTube channel, I'll let Cooper tell you where the donations button is, Cooper.
Which
Spurs
donation?
72. The donation to the channel. It's on the main YouTube channel, isn't it? Up the top by our Twitter.
Up in the top right-hand corner, I think you've put it.
Yeah, I can't get that screen up at the moment because I'm...
No, but just explain to... I was just going to explain to where it was. Spurs 72 was asking. So I was just asking him. It's up in the corner.
It's along the banner at the top. 1, 2, 3. 3 to the right, or 3 to the right of Jimmy Greaves, with the guy that looks like an older version of Paul Gascoigne. It's just below him. You'll see it written in the banner at the top there.
And if it does come up as James Moss, that is me. James Moss is my adopted name. Dermot's my birth name. So it is, and that does go to the channel. So thank you very much for everyone. Cooper, I interrupted you twice there, so I'm going to give you 5 minutes of no interruption of Cooper time. So everyone, curl up, get a nice hot water bottle, a nice warm drink, and listen to Cooper. Cooper, 5 minutes, all yours.
Right, watch the viewing figures drop now. Okay, well, I'm going to go back to one thing you said a while back about ex-managers. Do they lose sort of any of their reputation from being a legendary player? And I always say no, absolutely no way. I mean, Glenn Hoddle had a few seasons with us. Totally uninspiring sort of session as a manager, but club legend. You can't ever take that away from him. It doesn't matter. Ozzy, love him to bits, even though we were on the brink of getting relegated during his season in charge, or half season in charge. You just don't forget what players do for you when they're in their prime on the pitch. You separate it. It just doesn't matter after that. You could even take a club down as a manager. If you're known for lifting trophies with your club, that people will remember that. They'll love that. 5 minutes uninterrupted. What was the other questions then? There was one from Wayne Bonner, wasn't it?
Yeah, I put it up earlier. It was about your centre-backs. Give me 2 secs and I'll go and dig it out.
Centre-backs from all time, I suppose it would have to be Dave Mackay on reputation alone. The sort of player that transforms your club from the moment they walk in through the door. Everything becomes competitive. You can't take training lightly or anything. Everything matters that much. You must win. And a hell of a player to go with that attitude, and a hell of a hard man. If I was picking something for fun to go alongside him, it would be Graham Roberts, because the pair of them would scare the hell out of anybody around them. I think possibly for a bit of balance, though, I'd go with Ledley King. He was just silky smooth. He could do all of it. It'd be a brilliant foil for somebody like Dave Mackay. So there we go. How about Phil then?
That was story time with Cooper. Thank you. Right, Phil. All get ready with your pints of lager and your Cardi breezers, and just listen to Phil the Rock Man. He's just going to rock it all in.
Centre-backs?
Yeah. But you're not allowed to mention Nadal once in the whole 5 minutes.
I would probably say Fazio and Raymond Vega. I mean, they're just the two of the, and they go under the radar, but they're just two of the most quality centre backs you could ever wish for. Could you imagine if we had those two now? You know, the title would be ours. So I think that would be my two. But no, all joking aside, when I did my all-time team, I went for Ledley King, and I think I put in Toby as well because I did my team from my lifetime. But you'd be hard pushed to not have Dave Mackay or somebody like Graham Roberts in there because of the sheer passion and determination that the guy's going to give you. You know, absolutely brilliant.
We have Elliot Walsh here. Ethan, guys, I love watching these old games. Welcome, Elliot. You're more than welcome. Brian Daigle, but a centre back that isn't spoken about a lot and is underappreciated is the late great Dean Richards. Guys, what do you say to Brian? I'll start with you, Phil.
Yeah, no, absolutely spot on. The guy was incredible, and unfortunately, through tragic circumstances, no longer with us. But he joined us. He was great. He was solid. He was one of the best that we've had. But again, I would suggest very underrated. Didn't get too much international caps, but was certainly a great player for Tottenham.
Phil, Quiver.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He was very underrated. Also, a big loss to the game of illness taking its toll on his career. And he was one of those players that he's built like a proper centre half. He was a real unit. So he had its physical dominance. He read the game well. He was great in the air. Played the ball well. He was actually quite a good passer, very underrated part of his game. And he just did everything you'd want from a centre half. He was there. He was somebody to look up to and take inspiration from. And he'd drag some of the lesser players through a game if needed. Top player. He could. It's a tragedy that he wasn't with us longer, and we didn't get him earlier as well because he fitted the team so well. Very, very underrated player. Yeah.
Did he come from Southampton?
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he followed Hoddle, didn't he? So Hoddle was at Southampton, then run with it. Big question coming up from The Truth Sets You Free, and I'm going to jump in, Dermot, and give this one to you.
Okay, go on then.
The best passer in Spurs history, Hoddle. And just to remember that he's a new supporter learning about the past each day.
Oh, the best passer, right. If you go back to the 60s, you would say John White was a brilliant little midfielder. And he could pass the ball. He was like the Glenn Hoddle of the 60s, John White was. 70s then, yeah, Glenn Hoddle. But also very under I think, sadly, at the same time as Mickey Hazard. He was another great passer of the ball. And I think it's a shame that he came in at the same time Glenn Hoddle came in because Mickey Hazard is very underrated as a Spurs player. But Hoddle was something else. I mean, Hoddle was like Pele or Maradona. He was our Maradona. And as Platini said, Michel Platini said, if he played in the French side, he would have won over 100 caps. So, that shows how good. But Hoddle was something else. But if you want to go back to the 60s, and we just...
Was that an own goal?
Yeah.
And I tell you who was at fault for that one is Judas.
Yeah,
he got turned like a good one there.
We're blaming them for everyone. We're blaming him for everything.
Now you watch it back. You see him get turned.
Yeah. Riddance. That's what I say.
Good riddance. He was useless.
Yeah.
Ryan Bonner says Blanchflower was a great passer of the ball as well. Yes, he was.
Yeah, look, there you go. See, look how he's turned there.
Oh, God. Nethercott, what were you doing, man?
That's a great finish. Who slotted that? Did he not realise they were going the other way?
That actually was an own goal. I don't know who scored the own goal, but it was an own goal for Tottenham. Against Tottenham.
Oh, I've got to bring up Catman dresses. Mitchell Thomas. Oh. I think Mitchell Thomas would be a great left back in Antonio Conte's team today. He was strong and fast and hard working. Perfect. What's your thoughts on that, guys?
Mitchell Thomas for me was very underrated. He was a great defender. He was built like a brick. Two house, politely. Coover.
Yeah, I think Conte could have turned him into a great player, but I don't think he was a great player. He definitely had some really good traits to him. This kind of, although I hate using the name, Viv Anderson type quality of having really long legs that he could wrap round the ball when he thought it was already past him. He got forward well as well. That was the main thing. That's perhaps why what you're saying about the Conte could do something with him. Yes and no, I think would be my answer to that question. Conte could bring out the best of what's there, but I didn't think it was that great to start with, to be honest.
You just saw Trevor Francis there. The first ever £1 million footballer when he went from Birmingham City to Nottingham Forest under the great Brian Clough. So there's a fact that a bit of unuseless information.
So that's another one that was a great player but didn't really do it as a manager, isn't it?
Yeah. He had a bad injury as well, didn't he? His time at Forest, I think, as well.
But he was only there a couple of seasons, wasn't he? And then did win the European Cup, but then moved. Didn't he move on to Birmingham then?
Yeah, he done a really bad injury in the 80s. Could have ended his career, but he did come back for it. Brian Daigle says at the True Sets Free, without a shadow of doubt, it was Glenn Hoddle, or someone again very underrated, but an excellent passer was Tommy Huddleston. Yeah, another great player. Wayne Bonner says Calderwood on goal.
Here's an important question then from.
And I just want to get out what Bob Spurs says here very quick, and then we'll go back to that. Bob Spur TV says best passer ? Vinny sideways surely. Is he linked to Harry Winks sideways? I wonder if they're related somewhere along the line.
Winks made a career following Vinny sideways.
Yeah, he did. Right. Paul Brown, LOL. Very serious question. Who had the superior free flowing? Jurgen or Monsieur VO5 Ginola?
That's easy.
I'll give that one to Phil.
It's the free flowing god from France, Monsieur David.
It's not even a competition there. I mean, Jurgen was the poster boy and everything, but when it comes to so was Ginola, obviously. But that hair, that little glint in Ginola's eye with a free flowing hair, there was instant man crush. Could you see him doing?
Judas is coming off. Hey, everyone clap. Judas is coming off. Hey.
We're not clapping your performance. You cost us too long. We're clapping that Mabbott's coming on. There he is.
Oh, there's Gary. Go on, Gary.
He did respect him. Damn.
Just give him a swift punch on the way past.
I want Mickey Hazard to come on. Come on, Mickey. He shares my birthday, Mickey Hazard. So that's my sort of link.
So look at him.
See that? Yes.
Straight away. So what's the score now? It's 2-2 now, isn't it?
Yeah, and the Irish
they're clean through.
Nicky Barmby. And the Irish Hotspur says, I have great memories of Jurgen. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. The link's there, David. If you've got time, pop on for 2 minutes. We'd love to get your thoughts on this game. So the link is in the chat. We'll put the link in again. Catman just said, I'll let you read that one out, Phil.
Basically, I think she's saying, Judas, go away.
Okay, fair enough.
Respect to it.
I was going to say something about that Nicky Barmby goal because it's great when you see players skip through and they do a precision like dink over the goalkeeper and things like that, or place a shot. But it's so satisfying to just see somebody absolutely rifle it into that far corner. It's just something special, proper connection, and it just flies like an Exocet past the keeper.
Oh, God, you guys are so funny. Also, Bob Spur, if you want to come on as well, you're more than welcome. The link's there, so if you'd like to come on and talk about your the memories of this game, you're more than welcome. We've got 17 people watching. Thank you so much. Honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you. And for the likes, and please like and subscribe. We've got more great games coming up. I mean, we're going back to the 70s next week, I think, and then we've got a few lined up, haven't we, guys? I don't know where we're going next. Probably have to stay with the 90s, won't we?
Yeah, sorry, go on, Phil.
No, I was just going to say the comment there from the Truth Sets Free. Nice shot and a great goal, but yeah, there was 2-on-1 there, and he should have slotted that one or passed that one across. But
this is a weird game as well in some ways, because I don't remember Klinsmann's goal. I just remember the celebration.
Yeah. Well, the goal on here actually the goal
when it
on
comes
here,
up, you'll remember it, I'm sure.
Yeah, but it's not shown on here because the video cuts sort of at the end. For some, I think I can't remember, but for some reason it couldn't have been shown. But we will get that up at some point. We will get it up on the YouTube channel on the playlist. We will find it and upload it somewhere. Wayne Bonner put, I saw Jurgen play twice, 94, 95, Good Friday. That 88th minute put free kick away to Palace, and the 97-98 game away to Palace. I mean, he came back again, didn't he, and saved our skin again. Catman, LOL, Ben does that to me too, LOL. Calls me she and her. Eddie says, come on, David. I'm sure David's busy. It was just he was in the chat. I'm sure he's busy. He's got the fan show tonight, so we will all be on the fan show. So big up, Dave and Jack, and congratulations once again. And Catman Jeff says, big up, David. 2-2, guys. Where's it all gone wrong?
Oh, hasn't. It's a great game.
Yeah. But the defending's been awful, hasn't
it? We're 3-2 up.
Oh, 3-2 up. I'm sorry, I forgot about Bambi's goal. Sorry. So, Barmby's goal. Bambi. So, Barmby.
It's the trouble when talking our way over some of this. You sort of zone out of the football sometimes and forget what the question was, or you're concentrating on the question and you're taking your eye off the football. So it's a skill.
Yeah, men can't multitask. Well, some of us can, but some of us can't. So we're still learning that skill. I'm just talking to myself. I cannot multitask. I'm useless. I'm sure Coover and Phil are well used to multitasking, but as for me, right, guys, go on. Any questions, you two? Oh Lord.
No, just.
Oh yeah, I've just seen Ellie saying Klinsmann with a bullet header. Yeah, I remember it now.
Yeah. And I tell you, do you know what? That's probably the best description from Ellie possible, because it was a bullet, wasn't it?
Oh,
it was.
That defense. Our defense looks a bit rocky, doesn't it? It doesn't look as rocky as it did with Judas in it, but with Mabbott in it looked a bit more. I'm just solid.
Again, looking at this, wondering why he wouldn't have played Judas on the right and Mabbott on the left. That's surely your ideal pairing there.
We actually haven't talked about Des Walker being in the Sheffield Wednesday side, have we? I mean, he was a great defender, wasn't
he? He was fantastic. You'll never beat Des Walker. That was the song, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You'll never beat Des Walker.
Yeah.
It was true for a while.
Here he comes. Here comes my player, Mickey Hazard. Look at him. Look at the genius of the man. And Dimitrescu's coming off for the legend that is Mickey Hazard.
He never really set the world alight, did he?
Who?
Dimitrescu.
No, he started off with about half a dozen really, really good games, and everybody was saying that he's got this great skill set. And like as I said earlier, he got found out very quickly that that's the only trick he had in the book. And then there was very little else to offer.
We've also got the FA Cup draw tonight at 7:00. It's the third round draw. Who are you hoping to get in the cup, lads?
Oxford.
Who would you like to, what would an ideal draw be for us?
Oxford at home. Somebody nice and simple. We're number 40 if anyone's watching it in the background. Not that we should be, but you know. But yeah, no. You want? I almost want just an easier round so that you know you're not having to put all your big guns out early on when the fixtures are starting to pile up. So a home draw, and you know a first or second division side would be good.
Cooper?
Ideally for me, it would be somebody like, Barnet, Boreham Wood, something like that, fairly local.
Don't mention Boreham Wood. They're playing my team tonight.
Hang on a minute. Surely you want Dagenham and Redbridge?
No, we'll let them off. They're the quiz specialists.
Can I just say, St Albans City, my local side, are playing Boreham Wood tonight in the FA Cup second round. It's the first time they've actually got to the second round of the FA Cup. So my dream would be to win tonight, to get Tottenham, to get St Albans City in the draw. I mean, that for me would be a dream. But Cooper, you reckon somebody like that, somebody low down at home?
Well, I've got sort of connections with both of those clubs. I mean, most of my mates live up sort of Boreham Wood area, so when we were going to games, we'd meet up there first, and then head down to Barnet. For a couple of the others who joined in on our crowd are about 12 generally. So I've got sort of an affinity for those teams when Spurs aren't playing, but it's purely because my mates support them really. So and Barnet, of course, got a lot of history with ex-Spurs players going to manage and play for as well. I mean, got some good memories for a lot of their fans as well.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. I just hope St Albans City beat you lot tonight. Sorry, just for a personal thing. Ellie says, Des Walker, a big Spurs fan, got a winner scoring an own goal in extra time in that 1991 FA Cup final, lads. Yeah, he did. You feel sorry for him. The same happened to Gary Mabbutt in '87. It's all great at the time, but you've really got to feel sorry for him. Man, I've got a call and I have to go. Dermot, Cooper, Phil, this is a top channel. Thank you guys for this great stream. P.S. Cooper, the quad is still on. Who cares who we play.
That's right. Quad is still on. You said at Spurs 72. Great seeing you again, mate.
Yeah, it is. Thank you very much indeed, Spurs 72, and thank you so much for joining us. True Sets Me says, I botched that comment. Spell check. Please discard. Ground. Ellie says, number 40, Coys. Do you know what that means, lads?
Yeah. Spurs
that's the
40 in the FA Cup draw tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
Liverpool 23,
what time,
Man City 25, Man United 26.
And the True Section 3 says, what time are we in at the game? Cooper, what time? How long are we into the game?
Sorry, what time?
Are we into whereabouts are we in the game?
I don't know.
We've actually got no clock actually for this, but how long are we into the YouTube channel?
Let's see, what time is it now? 7:00. We must be coming towards the end.
Yeah, we're near enough.
Because we've been live for over an hour and a half now, so I'd imagine we're within the last 10 minutes.
10 minutes. And the Irish Hotspur says, I have to go, lads. Great stream. Keep up the great work. It was great watching you again. Dave, thank you for watching. We'll see you later on the fan
show. Catch you later, Dave.
And, we'll get another game and love to get you on for one of these watch-alongs. We had you on one morning with me and Cooper. We had a blast doing that. So we'd love to get you and Jack on together for a game of both of your choices. So whatever game you want to watch, and Jack as well. But thank you for everyone who is watching and liking and subscribe. It's really appreciated. So thank you very much. I just want to say a quick thing as well. Josh, the Tottenham guy, is doing a charity gig. Well,
what happened there?
This is the bit I was talking about. It skipped Klinsmann's goal.
Oh, well, just that minor little detail, yeah. But, other than that...
that was the fourth goal.
There we go.
Here we go.
Here it is.
Here we go. Look at that.
Of course I remember it. The full... Yeah, he gave it everything.
There we go. His first goal for Tottenham Hotspur. We've all been waiting for that moment with this video. Dave, I hope you were there. I hope Dave,
the dive bomber celebration. That's just like iconic part of our history. That
Dave, I hope you're in still watching that. So I hope you got your chills. You got your Klinsmann goal. Yeah, Josh the Tottenham guy is doing a charity on New Year's Day for 12 hours. For a charity called Cosmic. So everyone, please get over to Josh the Tottenham guy. He's doing that. So please, he's trying to raise €500. Let's get to 1,000. So please, everyone, get over to his. The links in his on his YouTube channel. So please, let's get him up to that 500. And also, Phil does a show with him on a Friday called the Four Hot Spurs with him, with Chris, who is a legend on David's channel, and Ribsy is joining.
Rez.
Rez,
what a goal!
Yeah,
What?
This is near the end of the game now. David Hurst. So please, everyone, get over there as well on Friday at
Just
8 o'clock.
Quick little FA Cup update. Liverpool are home to Shrewsbury, while Chelsea are home to the mighty Chesterfield.
We will stay on and do the FA Cup draw. Phil will get up the FA Cup draws as they come along, and we won't come off till we know who Tottenham have got. And I will keep a lookout for who St Albans get as well, would you, Phil? I would like to know.
Okay, I'll have a look.
But yeah, everyone get over to his channel and support his charity. And thanks again to Dr. Jive One for the but it's at the bottom there. Just thanks, Simon. We really appreciate all your support. So Klinsmann is knocked out cold.
Oh, that's a lot of blood coming out of his mouth there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think he swallowed. He nearly. I think if it wasn't for Teddy saved his life that day.
It's easy to forget about that incident. It's
yeah, I forgot all about that incident too.
Because you like you said, you see all the blood coming out. You thought that looks really serious.
It does.
Thankfully, he wasn't as badly hurt as it first looked.
Right.
But yeah, he's out cold, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's a bit serious.
Yeah, that's bad news. I forgot about that injury there.
Yeah,
I remember thinking he wouldn't play in the next game, but he did. He played.
Yeah, he did.
Played at home to Everton, was it?
Yeah, I went to that game. He scored that fantastic goal. Scissor kick goal.
Scissor bike kick, wasn't it?
Do you guys miss the old White Hart Lane?
Yeah. All my fondest memories of the old White Hart Lane. I've never really enjoyed going to games ever since it went on all-seater. I was very much one for the terraces. It's something about it, going with your mates, drunk and messing about and pushing each other around it, and then giving the away fans as much abuse as possible. That was just fantastic. Yeah, I mean, the new ground, they've done great things with it. Obviously, it's fantastic to look at, but for me, again, I reminisce too much about the feelings of going there with when it felt like you were proper working man's club, and you just coming out straight out of the pub with your mates. It was great.
This is the replay of it now.
Oh yeah.
I still couldn't make out whether it was an elbow or his head. There was
but quick reactions from Teddy there.
Oh,
Teddy
head,
did,
definitely.
Yeah. Teddy did save his life.
We said, didn't we? His brain was ahead of his football.
Yeah. The true Setness fee, send in a few chats there. We'll just get them up very quickly for him. He puts one as a smiley laughing face, and then he put brilliant header. Then he said cracking finish to this game, 4-3-7 goals. Bad clash of heads. WTF, glad David left. Nightmares for him. My cousin says White Hart Lane was amazing on the shelf.
Well, I can give you the update on Tottenham.
Home to
Tottenham
Morecambe.
Hotspur are at home and will play the mighty Morecambe.
Wow.
Live on BBC.
That will do nicely.
Yeah,
That would do very
that's
nicely.
what I mean.
Good
You know,
start.
it's where you look at it and you think, doesn't matter which team you put out, they should be okay with that. That's what I wanted.
And big up Derek Hutchinson as well. He's also put in the chat Spurs versus Morecambe as well.
It's also the nice bit giving a little club that big payday as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
That'll make their season.
Has St Albans come out yet? Has it, Phil?
I haven't seen it, but I'll have to wait for it to come up at the end.
Just let us know.
There must be some absolutely crazy Morecambe fans at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, as I'm looking in there, you've still got them up the road, Villa, Man City, Leeds, Man United, still not yet drawn out. But there's also still quite a few
I'm
teams.
sorry for Mark Cousins. He wanted Yeovil. Because that's his club.
He's just up the road from me. Well, a little bit of a drive, but I'm not too far away.
And Wayne Bonner said
Man City away to Swindon.
Yeah. I think Albans and Bournemouth were the first at home. So I think they've already been drawn. So I'll have a quick look now. I'll have to see if... because I'd like to know who St Albans got, actually. Dean Austin come from St Albans as well. So, St Albans and Tottenham have a link.
Dean Austin?
Yeah.
Well, we signed him from Southend, didn't we? But
he started his career at St Albans.
All right. Okay. Didn't know that one.
Yeah. I can't find the draw. I'll just wait for it to look for it later.
Dean Austin, that was another player that was unfortunate with injuries.
Yeah.
It was.
Great player as well, wasn't he?
When he first started for us, he was such an aggressive tackling and attacking player as well. And then,
right, lads. Just a quick question now. This is as Aussie would be gone by November. One word. Well, scores out of 10 for Aussie's management time at Tottenham.
We've done this before.
I know, yeah, but I just like doing it again.
Entertainment 10 for me, and results is going to be sort of a 2, really, hasn't it? It didn't go well.
Phil?
A 2, because as much as it was fun and entertaining and being relegated is not a great result.
Ian Harper says Man United are at home to Aston Villa.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
That's going to be it. That's a tasty game.
Villa are on a roll at the moment, aren't they?
So, come on, Gerrard. Let's put a bit of.
Oh yeah, the old Liverpool United rivalry.
Yeah. That's not going just because he's at Villa, is he?
Yeah.
I
think they'll make a point of it, sort of get them to draw some inspiration from it.
Yeah.
And Wayne Bonner put United versus Villa, Gerrard at Old Trafford again. Old Trafford again. That could be fun. Yeah. Be a bit spicy. Please, Walker, just kick the damn fucking ball with you. Useless, you were useless. His dad was manager of Norwich, wasn't he? Ian Walker's dad.
Yeah, Mike Walker, and then went to Everton, didn't he?
He did.
Oh, 1-1, Darren. Look at that, see?
Yeah, Mike Walker at Norwich, he got them into Europe. They had a famous cup run.
Did they beat Bayern Munich?
They beat some very big teams.
Who did Norwich beat Bayern one year?
West Ham versus Leeds. That's going to look tasty.
Ooh, that's going to be tasty.
Yeah. Ooh. There'll be a few rivalries for the fans ringing up each other. That day.
Yeah, it's going to be a few overworked police in that venue.
Yeah.
Queen's Park.
Oh, we've got St Albans or Bournemouth. Thank you, stranger 2025. You're a diamond. St Albans City or Bournemouth at home to AFC Wimbledon.
Only 4 teams left, and one of them.
That's not a bad draw for us, actually. That's not a bad draw.
Yes, it's a nice one, isn't it?
Yeah. Just got beat Bournemouth tonight. Norwich versus Brighton was 93-94.
Also, as this season whether we're watching at the moment.
No, this is 94-95.
It's going to be Forest and Arsenal,
Oh,
just
yeah.
whichever ground.
We actually came off the World Cup, didn't we? That's something we haven't actually on. That's something we haven't touched on. It was actually coming off a World Cup year, wasn't it? And a lot of these players that we bought were playing at the World Cup, like for Romania and Popescu and Demirescu played for Romania and Klinsmann for Germany. What was your memories of that World Cup that year?
94.
We weren't there, were we?
Yeah, we're bloody horrible.
It was great
It was in
for
the
us. We
USA.
beat Italy.
It was the USA, wasn't it, hosting
Yeah.
that year?
Yeah.
I tell you what I remember from it is one, obviously not being there. One, Diana Ross missing an opening goal and the goal still falling apart in the opening ceremony. And I was on a flight home for the final, so I didn't know the result. And in those days, obviously, because you got home at like 7, 8 o'clock, I couldn't find out who'd won the World Cup, and it was like nobody seemed to know because they were like, oh, we weren't in it, didn't watch it. It was just weird, really weird. But the World Cup itself, I don't remember many great games in that one.
Really?
No, none.
A certain Jack Charlton beat the Italians. Ring a bell?
Yeah, it does, but it wasn't a great game.
No, nobody cared about that, Dermot.
If I could swear on this channel, I would.
Yeah, there we go. Congratulations, boys.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to have a say in the World Cup now. Congratulations, Teddy. Well done, Spurs. Right, we beat Italy. We had Jack Charlton chucking out water in the Mexican game like he worked for the water board. I mean, that was funny. I mean, seeing him and George was having an argument with the FIFA official was just really, really funny. For me, Paul McGrath, that was Paul McGrath's best World Cup for Ireland when he played in Italy.
Yeah,
But that has been Sheffield Wednesday versus Tottenham Hotspur, 94-95 Carling Premiership, first game of the season, where Jurgen Klinsmann has scored on his debut. Lads, what do you think of that game? It was fun, wasn't it?
It was fun. It was kamikaze. It was shocking defending, some great goals, and a Spurs win. It would have certainly been it certainly was a nerve-wracking season watching that week in, week out, wasn't it?
It was.
It was brilliant. But just after this game, though, I think everybody was absolutely buzzing. We just saw the excitement ahead. Yeah, I think it was quite early in the season. I think we had a cup game. It would have been League Cup game, I think, against Watford. And we went there and won 6-3 at their place.
That's right, I remember that.
And then we thought, oh yeah, that's how easily we score 6 goals. But then you looked at the 3 Watford scored, and they were sort of taking heart with that. And then they came back to our place and they beat us 3-2 at White Hart Lane, and it was crazy.
The wheels fell off after that, actually. Steve Perryman had his one game in charge against Blackburn, I think, after Aussie. But that's something. Steve Perryman, he took charge, and then Jerry Francis came in and took us to the semi-final. Lads, it's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed this stream. It's been fun. So, Kuva, where can people find you, sir? And thanks again to Dark Jive One. I will get his. I'm going to call him Simon because I can't pronounce your
Duck Jive One and his channel. Yeah, it's a really good channel with lots of Spurs memorabilia and memories and lots of England games as well. And he's picked that they're going to be rare games to find because he's picked them all up off VHS out of his own pocket over the years and uploading them himself. So there's some good stuff to sift through there. Well worth checking out his channel.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for that. And Phil, do you want to say anything to Simon?
Yeah, just, as I said at the start, just massive respect because, it's nice to show, the people of today what we've witnessed and grown up with. And, they're hard to come by. So when we can find games like that, absolute total respect to you. And, long may it continue.
Yeah. Just a quick few more chats to go through. Wayne Bonner says, great stream, fellas. Look forward to the next one. Thank you very much, Wayne. He also said Watford was 6-3 aggregate. Then we got humiliated by Notts County. Yeah, I think that was near enough Aussie's last game, wasn't it? after the Notts County game.
I think that was his last game. Yeah.
And Stranger-2205, thanks for that, gents. This was my first time watching the channel. I'll definitely be back. Thank you, and thank you for everyone who's liked the stream, who's liked this video. Thank you so much. Who's subscribed, and thank you for everyone that's come back. Anyone new, we will be back tomorrow night with the debate. I think we're doing it with Ellie for all Spurs time 11, wasn't it?
We've got lots of things.
We've got lots of things going through.
I can't remember what Phil. Have you got the list handy? What were we planning on for next Monday for live?
Not to hand. No.
I think we'll leave it up to the chat. What year? What decade? We'll stay on for another 5-10 minutes. We'll do a bit of talking. It's up to you, chat. What decade do we go? 70s, 80s, or 90s? It's up to you. So let us know. And by the end of when we come off in about 10 minutes' time, then we'll go. That's the decade we'll go, and then we'll get the game up. But it's up to you, chat.
Or should we just put something up on Twitter? If we pick whatever we've looked at for the next 3 weeks, put that up, and then we'll see if we can get the poll going.
Yeah, well, I did a poll for Twitter today for the 71 Cup final and this, and they both come out 50-50. So that's how much useful that poll was. So Lazy 801 saying it's the 80s. That's where we're going.
80s is always really popular.
Yeah.
Full of Glenn Hoddle, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I saw that goal he scored. Elliot Walsh says 80s as well.
If I give you a couple of the games that we were looking at, so we've done that.
Yeah,
one.
actually, good idea, Phil. Do that, actually. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so if I give you the next 3 games that were on our list, we had 1971 League Cup, Tottenham v Norwich. Tottenham v QPR from 1982, obviously the FA Cup final. And the 1962 FA Cup final between Tottenham and Burnley. So it's Norwich, QPR, or Burnley's. 60s, 70s, or 80s?
Well, they've got 3 for the 80s, so I think we'll be going for the 82 Cup final here, lads.
Okay.
It wasn't the greatest of games, to be fair.
No, it wasn't actually, but it's a cup final, isn't it?
Yeah, it's still good seeing
you can see that. Look. Oh, there we go. Sorry. 80s from 88.
Yeah.
80s from Elliot and 80s from Wayne. So it looks a strong one.
Yeah. Wayne Bonner says the 62 final was a great game, and Elliot Walsh says QPR. Lazy 801 says QPR proper hard. So is everyone 82? Is that what we're going to go for next week?
We go 82 next week then?
We could do that, couldn't we?
Yeah.
Cup final's a cup final.
Yeah. Right, next match, and the match next on Tottenham Classic Goals Classic Match Night is Tottenham Hotspur vs QPR, the 1982 FA Cup final replay at Wembley, where there was no Aussie or Ricky Villa. We was in the team, but because of what was happening, and we'll go into that all next week about that as well.
And Wayne Bonner, we will get onto that 62 final as well at some point. So
we actually might do that the following week. Yeah. I think also we might do the semi-final. Instead of doing the Brighton game, we might actually do the 82 semi-final to build up to that final on Monday. So that's something we might do, but we'll look into that.
We've also got to sort out this 1991 FA Cup semi-final business because
we do.
Unfortunately we had to shut that off at the time.
Well, can I just say I'm glad this stream's gone without a hitch.
Yeah.
Catman Jess, Tottenham Tantrum Gold Army is going fast. Big up Dermot, Cooper and Phil. Thanks, guys. I'm down for the 82 final. Going to be a good one. Yes, it is. It's going to be a great one. Spurs and their banana kit. And Terry Venables was actually the manager for QPR in this final as well. And was there, I think Terry Fennick played for QPR, played for us as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he was great at centre back, wasn't he?
Right, we're going to end it there. Kuba, where can people find you, sir? And just plug yourself silly for about 2 minutes.
We've done this before, haven't we? Obviously here. I'll be here in the mornings as well when we'll have Ben Kaufman with us when Phil's off at work, doing proper things for a living.
While Phil's away, me and Cooper can play.
We'll have Adele on then.
Yeah.
Oh, wish. No, otherwise I'll be over at Irish Hotspur, which is our sort of it's our little home away from home, really, isn't it? It's where
Mothership, isn't it?
Yeah, it's where we were inspired by David Harris and Jack Kanicki and their enthusiasm. And other than that, I'm dotting around a few other channels. I quite often pop up on Paxton Road, the two Brian's channel on Tottenham on Tour. I've remembered it again, which is amazing. Bob Spurs, when he's back up and running, I'm always around in the chat on that. Otherwise, there's Josh the Tottenham guy, doing the stream, the charity stream coming up. I usually pop onto his Football Manager streams as well because they're funny. But for his charity stream, the 24-hour one, I'm going to try and be on for as much of that as I possibly can.
I think we're going to do something from this channel as well. The three of us will do something linked in with him. We might do a game or something linked in that night as well. A little game as well. Could
get Josh's favourite game, see if we can get that hold of that or something.
Yeah, we'll do that. Thank you very much, Cooper, and thank you for all you do, and thanks for getting the game up tonight for us and everything. You're an absolute legend, so thank you very much. And Mr. Adele lover down there, who wants to find Adele. Okay. How's that going for you?
It's heartbreaking, but that's another story.
You can obviously find me. Go on, Phil? Plug yourself, man. Where can people find
me? Obviously on here, Tottenham Tantrum Gold. I'll be here in the evenings. As Cooper said, I'm working during the day, and I also do a show on with the Four Hotspurs on Josh the Tottenham guy. So, and apart from that, obviously in and out of Irish Hotspur. So, I'm around. Plenty of time on screen. So that's us.
Yeah, right. Well, thank you for everybody for watching tonight. This has been Tottenham Tantrum Gold, and all I can say is, leave it out.
Leave it out. Spurs.
When the Spurs go marching in, when the Spurs go marching in, I want to be